Well, an ABC journalist has confirmed an incident involving the New South Wales Opposition Leader Luke Foley at a Christmas party in 2016. The statement from reporter Ashleigh Raper says Mr Foley placed his hand down the back of her dress and inside her underpants. Reporter Amy Greenbank joins us now. Amy, what does the statement say?
Kath, good afternoon. Well, the personal statement has been released by Sydney reporter Ashleigh Raper, and it includes a detailed description of what she alleges happened that night. It's been released in conjunction with a statement from the ABC, and I'll read some of that to you now. The ABC says they were first made aware of the matter following media inquiries in April. At the time, they spoke to Ms Raper, who made it clear she did not want to make a formal complaint. In February this year, she asked to be reassigned from State Parliament to general reporting shifts unrelated to the incident, and there was no change of work assignments given to Ms Raper as a result of this incident. Now, the personal statement, which has just been released by the ABC, reveals more details about the alleged harassment. The statement by Ashleigh Raper reads, "This is a position I never wanted to be in and a statement I never intended to make, but I think the time has come for my voice to be heard." She goes through listing detailed accounts of what happened that night, before alleging that later in the evening, Luke Foley, this is the evening of the Christmas party, a work function, that she says that Luke Foley approached a group of people, including her, to say goodnight. She says he stood next to me, he put his hand through a gap in the back of my dress and inside my underpants. He rested his hand on my buttocks. This is the personal statement from Sydney reporter Ashleigh Raper. She says she completely froze in the moment, and it was witnessed by Sean Nichols, who was then the state political editor at the Sydney Morning Herald and now works for the ABC. She goes on to say New South Wales Opposition Leader Luke Foley then left the bar and she was shaken. She chose not to make a complaint in that moment. She says also she cherished her position as a state political reporter and feared that it would be lost. Her statement continues. Last Sunday, on the 4th of November, she says, Luke Foley called me on my mobile phone and we had a conversation. She says that he apologised and said he was full of remorse for his behaviour towards her, which happened in November 2016. She alleges that he told her that he wanted to talk about that night. She says that he said he was drunk and couldn't remember all of the details, and that he knew he did something that could have offended her. She goes on to say he apologised to her and he said, quote, "I'm not a philanderer, I'm not a groper, I'm just a drunk idiot." Now, this is the personal statement from Ashleigh Raper, the Sydney reporter, detailing the harassment allegations. Now, she says that the opposition leader, when he called her that night, said he would resign as a leader of the New South Wales Labor Party on either the Monday or the Wednesday. She then said he called on the Tuesday night, repeated his apology, but then told her he'd received legal advice and he was not going to resign as opposition leader. Now, finally, her personal statement reads that she just wants to get on with her life and she does not wish to make any further comment. Kath, we will be seeking a response from New South Wales Labor and the opposition leader shortly.
Amy Greenbank, thank you. Well, New South Wales political reporter Bridget Glanville joins me now from Parliament House. And Bridget, this happened some years ago. Why has it come out now?
Kath, it happened, as mentioned in the statement, 2 years ago. Earlier this year in May, there was a media report about an incident happening in a bar between Luke Foley and a journalist, and that's all that was in this. And as Ashleigh Raper said in her statement, she didn't wish to make a complaint and no further action was to be taken. And then it became public 2 weeks ago, or 3 or 4 weeks ago now. The member for Baulkham Hills, David Elliott, in Parliament, under parliamentary privilege, got up and said to Luke Foley, they were sparring over something else, and he said words to the effect, "Luke Foley, don't call me a grub. I'm not the one who harassed an ABC journalist." So keeping in mind that in Parliament, under the cause of privilege, you can't defame someone. So it was from then that this story broke and that a number of people started reporting about it. You notice, Kath, that in the statement from Ashleigh Raper at the end, she says situations like mine should not be discussed in Parliament, for the sake of political point scoring. And I know over the last few weeks here at State Parliament, there have been many MPs and ministers very unhappy with Minister David Elliott's use of parliamentary privilege in trying to out this story that he didn't know or apparently had no information about it. Luke Foley has denied it since then. And many, obviously, Labor MPs were unhappy about it as well, because keeping in mind that parliamentary privilege is there so MPs can discuss sensitive topics. It's not there so MPs can sling mud at one another.
So, Bridget, what do you think the likely fallout of this will all be?
Well, in speaking to many of the Labor MPs in the weeks leading up to this, and of course keeping in mind that the media have known that the reporter did not wish to make a complaint, and up until this statement that has always been the case. And I think many of those MPs didn't know what the allegations were, and they always said if they're serious allegations that Luke Foley would go. I think there's no denying from her statement exactly how serious those allegations are. Since this story broke, I've had a chance to call 3 of them, senior Labor MPs. None of them knew that Luke Foley had contacted the journalist. I now know that some of the Labor MPs are now trying to scramble to meet. We've made calls we're making calls into Luke Foley's office as we speak. Kath, sorry, I'm just actually looking at I was just looking at my watch, my phone's on the ground, just to see if there's been someone was contacting us back. So I know it's now the focus is going to be on Luke Foley. Initially, as I mentioned, Luke Foley has talked about this and has said that he denied anything happening. His Chief of Staff, Chris Willis, was quoted in a paper saying that he was there and didn't see anything. But interestingly, in this statement, his phone call to Ashleigh Raper is now going to put that under question. So we're just going to have to wait and see how this story develops. Certainly, we'll going to have more news as it comes to hand.
OK, we'll let you get back across it throughout the afternoon. You'll obviously keep abreast of the situation for us here on the News Channel. Bridget Glanville, thank you.